All right.
Hi everyone, it's Brandy. I'm Brandy with Brush by Brandy. If you guys go follow my page, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Brush by Brandy. I'm also on YouTube and Pinterest. And I'm live here tonight on the Dixiebell page because we're going to be finishing up this piece we've been working on. We've been working on this piece over the course of the last 3 weeks. And tonight we're going to put all the finishing touches on it. And tomorrow you guys are going to get to see the finished photograph final results. I'm really excited for that. So you guys tonight, please come on. If you like and share this post and then shoot us a comment, we're going to be giving away an 8 ounce of Dixiebell paint in your choice of color. And we're going to be doing that actually off the broadcast this time. So that way you have a little bit more options to share, even if you're catching us on the replay. So we're going to be giving it away in the 24 hours after the broadcast this time. So more people have the opportunity to win. My husband Sean is here to help me answer questions. Let me know if you guys can see me tonight, please.
I'm really hoping they can, because this was like the big concern with the lines in the piece.
Yes.
All right, sweet.
Please give me feedback on if you can see me. We have a new internet option going right now. My uncle came out this weekend, came out to our house, and he does IT he's a retired firefighter that does IT work, and he hooked us up. So our signal strength is phenomenal right now, and if you guys can't see me, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what to do.
Shadow puppets.
Yeah, honestly, it's I'm not a solutions here. And you guys are either gonna love that you can see me better, or I'm either gonna gain viewers or I'm gonna lose viewers because you.
Judy says hi from Mexico. She's on vacation.
Hi, Judy. Oh, what are you doing watching me on vacation? Go back. Go out to the pool. Get yourself a, I don't know, Mai Tai or something. You should not be watching painting videos on vacation. Okay, you guys, so we've been working on this piece here over the course of a few weeks, and it's super cute, and it's been killing me to not finish it up. So we put paint on the body, we stained the top together. All of these videos are available on the Dixiebell page under the videos tab. And I also upload them to my YouTube channel afterwards. And then I will put them together into a blog post. So after we have this piece finished, I will take those 4 videos, put them together in a blog post with photos and instructions and a materials list, so you guys have it all in one place too. So this has really been a cool process.
Angie says thanks, Brandy's uncle.
Yes,
everybody, it's the clarity is spectacular.
Uncle John, you guys, my Uncle John and my Aunt Lori are my second parents, and
good people.
They're amazing. They're amazing. They take good care of Sean and I. So yes, thank you to my Uncle John and my Aunt Lori for coming out and helping us figure out what we could do out here in the boondocks for Wi-Fi. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about putting a clear coat on a dark color. I see a lot of questions on not just putting a clear coat on any color, but getting a nice, even, streak-free coat on top of dark color. So I'm going to give you some solutions there. And then we're also going to take our hardware that we spray painted, and I'm going to make it look a little bit more fancy than it is right now. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight, and then we'll put the finishing touches on this, and I'll take pictures of it tomorrow.
So quick recap, how'd you get the paper on there?
We decoupage this paper on, and I use Dixiebell Gator Hide as my adhesive, and then I'm also going to use Dixiebell as my clear coat over the top. So what that does is essentially encapsulates the paper in the gator hide. I said this last week, but how I know this works, I've had to remove this paper after putting it on. It is not coming off. Trust me, not on this piece, but on another piece I messed up, had to take the paper off. It is at one with your piece once you attach it with the gator hide. So we use this as our adhesive, we laid the paper on, rolled it out flat, looks beautiful. Our body on this piece has Dixiebell Caviar, which is a true black. And then we just accentuated it a little bit with some palmetto in the creases over here just to pull out the greens that are on the front.
I'm going to zoom into this since
we have the option to zoom.
Yeah, since we actually have clarity.
So this is something I hope you guys can see on camera now then, is this piece has dust on it. It's been sitting in my workshop. The bad part about doing a piece every week with you guys is I have it sitting around forever. So it's got dusty fingerprints and dust that's come on. And I'm even going to come through and I'm going to add more. I advocate doing a light sanding in between each coat, and you can see what it does to a black paint. And that will make you nervous because you will say, oh, are you sure I should sand? Now I just have all this white sanding dust all over my black paint finish. That's okay. So then I'm going to take just this damp rag, like a tap cloth, and wipe away the dust that I have on here. The only reason I do that is to get any dust particles that have settled in my paint. It really just gives the paint a really smooth finish. It takes away the chalky feel of it, and the clear coat goes on really nice. So we'll go ahead and add our clear coat first, and then we'll come back and do our hardware in just a second.
Brooke's on.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Brooke. Brooke Sobel, you guys, with Heartland Vintage Market is a local to me. And I love her. And she just got back from Texas, so I'm glad Brooke's here. Okay, so I'm going to use Dixiebell Gator Hide as my clear coat tonight. Gator Hide is a little more finicky than some of the other Dixiebell clear coats. It is also the best protective one. So I want that protection, so I'm going to show you how to apply this properly. So the first thing I'm going to do with Gator Hide, don't just shake your Gator Hide container. You want to stir it. You want to stir up all those little particles that get settled down at the bottom. Give it a really good mixing. I want to make sure this is really well mixed together. So Stephanie Kuhn with Rehab to Fab just posted a really great little video on applying Gator Hide.
Sorry, the camera shook a little bit. Sheila said she's on too.
and,
Basically, it did get me that I'm not announcing that. Yeah.
Oh, and Sheila.
Okay.
Yeah. No afterthought there. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot a brush. Well, I'll use my, hang on, I need a brush. I forgot a brush. Not like you need a brush for painting videos or anything, right? Oh, look, the brush I grabbed. The brand new Dixiebell Angle Mini Brush. This is going to be its first use, you guys. I got this when I went to Florida and visited the Dixiebell office, and I haven't even used it yet. So pretty. So hard to put paint on a new brush. So I've stirred up my Gator Hide. What I was saying is Stephanie Kuhn did a really good video on using Gator Hide. And a really good point to her video was if you live in a cooler climate, your clear coats will tend to thicken. If they're stored in your garage, the temperature of them affects the viscosity of them. If they're a little bit warmer and a little thinner, they go on much easier than when they've thickened and they're cold. So what she does is, she lives in Colorado, she gets a lot of snow there, is she'll set it in a dish of warm water. I'm in California, so my clear coats tend to stay fairly warm. But even if it's cold here, I will bring them indoors the night before I'm in a clear coat, so they will acclimate to the higher temperature, and it thins it out a little bit, puts them on much smoother. I've also found with dark colors, I prefer to put my clear coats on with a brush still. So the Dixiebell application sponge is an option. I'll use that on the top here. And then a foam roller can really be helpful if you're having a hard time getting thin, even coats. A foam roller is a great way to get those thin, even coats. So you want to apply your clear coat in thin, even coats. I can't stress that enough. Thin because if you're putting it on too thick, it's going to get gloppy. If your clear coat looks uneven when it's wet, it will look uneven when it's dry. I am not even going to tint this clear coat. And I found that I like using a brush because I can really spread it out nice and thin just by applying pressure to the brush differently. So I start in the middle of my piece. I'm going to come up here and get right under this top edge.
Joy says over 300 watching. It's
It's
because they can actually see.
Yeah, can you guys actually see me this week?
Sound it out.
This is what I look like. Disappointing, huh? So I will start out in the middle of the piece, and I'm just brushing it on very thin coats. But if it's so thin that your brush is starting to stick, then you need a little bit more of your clear coat on. Got a little something stuck in my brush. Let me get that off. And then I will just thin it out. Okay, now I'm going to do something on purpose just to show you guys. I'm going to put it on really thick right here. It's dripping off my brush. Streaky, it's dripping. I want you guys to see the difference. So it's a little more white right here. Hope you guys can tell that. If you leave it like that while it's wet, When that dries, that's going to be a big old streak. All this area, I just put it on too heavy, is what creates your streak. I need to get this back out even. I'm going to brush it back out into the rest of the piece.
It is so good right now. We can actually see your reflection off the gator hide.
I'm so excited.
Now, was the brush wet before you dipped it in?
No, this was a totally dry brush because I just grabbed it out of my drawer. A damp brush is a great option too. I've just found that I like the brush because I can control the heaviness of my hand when I'm putting it on. I can get nice, smooth, even brush strokes. The Dixiebell brushes are so soft that I've been putting clear coat on a lot with them lately. And I like the sponge too. I do use the sponge a lot, but especially for dark colors where the evenness of it is so important. I can work out the top coat and get it as thin as I like. I mean, this is going to be, it's very even. Resist any urges whatsoever. If you see a spot that you've missed or it's too heavy or anything, resist any urges to go brush back over it. Leave it alone, let it dry, and you can come back with your second coat and you can lightly sand or use the Dixiebell finishing pad. You'll just buff it out and add another coat. So don't try to brush over it. That's where you start getting the brush marks in it. So even though I applied this clear coat with a brush, I don't have any drip marks. It's a very nice, thin, even coat. I'm really happy with this. So I'm going to turn this piece up. I've got a little spot that's too thick right there. That was where I was showing you guys what not to do. So I'm going to turn this piece to the front. Okay, the front of this already has one coat of gator hide on it. So it has the gator hide underneath to attach the paper, and then I wiped on a clear coat of gator hide. The reason I did that before showing you guys was because I've been storing this piece and I didn't want the raw paper exposed when I've got paint flying and water, and I didn't want to damage the paper by accident.
Now, how long do you usually wait for that top coat to dry?
So I will wait for it to be dry to the touch, which is usually, you know, an hour or so in between coats. Once it's dry to the touch, you can give it that light sanding and come back and do another coat. If you're using a sponge or a brush, I would recommend rinsing them out in between each coat, because your clear coat will start to set up in your brush and it can get gummy when you're trying to do your second coat. So whatever tool you're using, whether it's a brush, a sponge roller, or the application sponge, rinse it out in between coats so it's nice and clean and you're starting fresh every time with a clean coat of clear.
Now, how long does it usually take for one coat to dry? To the touch? To the touch.
I mean, I'll be able to touch this within an hour or so. So I would probably, I could come back. I'll do several coats in one day. I'll come and do, you know, 3 coats over the course of a day, just coming out to my workspace and letting it dry. But I would come back to this probably in about an hour, and it should be okay to, so I'm going to do a second coat here on the drawers. So what I'll do for a second coat is I'm going to come back, and same thing I did with that is I will brush out. This has a clear coat over the top of the paper. And I will brush out any unevenness.
Erin says, I missed the quality issues, Brandy. You look too crisp.
Sorry, it's disappointing, I know. I said in the beginning I'm either going to lose viewers because you can see me, or I'm going to gain viewers because you can see me.
See, now I definitely have to stay behind the camera.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah. So really, just a single pass just to smooth out that clear coat, and then the same thing, I'm going to take my rag and dust it off. I will do this in between every single coat that I do. See, this is why it's hard for me to store pieces. I have paint from another piece that I got on this one down here. But I clear coated this, so it's protected, and I can come back and just, with a little bit of water to kind of reactivate it, I'm just cleaning off some little paint splatters I got on my piece. I have a couple up here too. See, this is why it's hard to store finished pieces in my actual workspace, but we get there. If I clear coat over the top of those, then they would be protected under clear coat. So you want to make sure your piece is nice and clean. looks really good. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to clear coat this, and this is just going to be our second coat. So same as I did on the side, I'm going to use my brush as well. I also like the brush because I can come in to small areas and clean up drips as they're happening, and that's harder to do with the application sponge. I keep nice, long, even strokes.
And how many coats are you going to put on this?
I would probably do, because this is paper, I'll probably do 3 on the body, and the top will get, the top we strip down to raw wood, so the top, on a wood top, I can do 4 or 5 on them, even more than that sometimes. I really like a nice, smooth, glassy top where it's just, okay, so now I've got coverage all the way across this bottom section. I'm going to just even out my brush strokes with a very soft hand. I'm just feathering out any brush strokes. Do the same thing in this little crevice right here. Make sure it's not dripping. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this little top piece here. Pull it all the way across so my brush strokes are nice and even. And then I'm going to get in this little crevice underneath the top right here.
Since the detail has been dropped from previous
videos,
so cute, I want to show everyone.
So then I will. Where did my screwdriver go? I swear I brought one over here. Did I not? Over there, hang on. I need to. I'm going to open that drawer. So then I will pull my drawer out. And I will hit right along the top. And I'm just going to tap my brush against this top edge. My top edge. This top edge is painted. This is Dixiebell Caviar up here. I just want to make sure that gets sealed as well. Okay, so I will do that over the entire body of my piece. From however many coats I want to do until I have the look and the feel that I like. So once it's all clear coated, what I do, I've showed you guys on camera before some of the finishing touches I do, and I'm going to show you what those are going to be on this piece. So the number one thing I'm going to do, that's a good example. Let's start back in, we'll do the bottom one. I'll tell you, these long drawers are hard to put on from one side. You don't get them perfectly straight. I'm going to pull this drawer out. Okay, so my wood drawer glides here. Wood rubbing on wood over the course of time, it starts to break down the wood. And these drawer glides, in fact, I think this is a piece of an old drawer glide. They can start chipping. The wood gets raw. It creates friction. So you want to do maintenance on your piece too. While you have it all taken apart is a perfect time to just give it some maintenance. So I use, to wax drawer glides, I use Minwax Paste Finishing Wax. And I just take this old ratty brush and I'm going to reseal this old wood. You know, when these come new, some of them, like this one still has a little bit of the original wax left on the glide. You know, they come waxed, but that wears off. So this freshens up that wax and helps the wood glide a little easier. I'm going to come in here and do the glide inside the drawer box too. I make sure the inside of my piece is all clean. All back in here, you want to clean out any spider webs or dust bunnies that have gotten in there. And then I wanted to show you another option for freshening up the outside of a drawer box. And that is, you can use Dixiebell Wax. So this is clear wax. I did not paint the outsides of these drawers. The reason is, if I've got a drawer box that's wood and it's in good condition, it's clean, it's pretty, I choose not to paper them or paint them. If I paper or paint a drawer, it's either because a customer has requested it or it's in bad condition. So these are in beautiful condition. The wood's in great shape. I just want to give it, I'm going to give it some wax. So the wax seals off the wood and gives it a layer of protection, because I want this dresser to go on for another, 100 years. Looking beautiful. So I take a big floppy brush like this, and then I have Dixiebell Best Dang Wax in Clear. And I'm just going to, it doesn't take a lot, just the tips of my brush. And then I will just rub it into this wood. And this gives it a little bit of extra moisture, some extra protection. You can see the wood is starting to soak it in. Just turns it to a little bit deeper color. And when this dries, that's a nice protective top coat over the wood too. So I love that for just maintaining a beautiful wood drawer box. Just a coat of clear wax over the top of the wood. You can do it inside the drawer as well, inside the base, because once this dries, it's not something that's going to spread to anything on it. It's a protective clear coat.
Will that wax prevent some of the wood smell that you get, or any smell period that comes in some drawers?
I wouldn't use wax for that. So Dixiebell Boss is an odor and stain blocking primer, and it comes in clear, so you can add a coat of clear Boss if you've got some odors inside your drawers. That might be a better option. The wax is actually adding a little bit of moisture back into the wood. I would actually, I'm not sure, but I would actually say it might make smells a little bit worse, because it might reactivate them, if you know what I mean. So anyway, you can go through this whole drawer box. We've we've waxed our glides.
Joy says we need to send Uncle John an Easter basket.
You love Uncle John. I think he might be watching tonight. If not, you guys, my Aunt Lori, he tells me, lays in bed and watches these videos on replay. So they will see it, and I'm super grateful for them too. Super grateful for my aunt and uncle. I used to live with my aunt and uncle when I was in high school, and actually the first part of college. So they are my extra set of parents. They've absolutely been a blessing to us our whole life. Okay, let's talk hardware, you guys. So this is the hardware that's going on the piece. These are the original poles, and they cleaned up to be this nickel color. And they were pretty, but it didn't go with my finish. So we have the copper dipped legs. We did Dixiebell patina paint in copper on the legs. And then I used a copper spray paint on the hardware itself. So that's where we are on these. They've got a coat of copper spray paint. And I'm going to take Dixiebell paint and caviar, which is a black. It's just a little flat. They look fake. They look painted. And I want to make them look a little bit more authentic. I was just using this last night. So I'm going to take my Dixiebell paint and caviar, which is a true black. And then I'll take a small brush. This is my flat small. And I'm just going to dip it in a little tiny bit of caviar. And I'm going to paint all over the top of this hardware. Like super messy. I want to cover it. I'm going to get paint all over my fingers. I'm going to flip that handle over.
Oh no.
I know. This is a messy job.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody actually has to hold this camera. It's really tough.
Yeah. Good thing Sean went to college, right?
Yeah.
What's your degree in camera holding?
Yeah. And that's not very good.
It's actually not a degree. It's a certificate, but still.
I sent in $20 and they sent me back a cert.
He can also...
And the name's wrong.
Yeah, he can also marry you in several states. So I did that one piece. I'm going to set it off to the side because I want my paint to set up a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'm going to come on and work on this next one. Because I want this paint to stick. And I'm going to wipe it off when I'm done. And if I come back and wipe it while it's still super wet, then it's just going to take it right back off. So you guys, I also wanted to tell you, Dixiebell's doing something really fun right now. For every retail order that you guys submit, the first 300 orders get an egg put in your order. It's an Easter egg hunt. So you get a plastic egg in your order, and the eggs contain different prizes. They can range from instant winners to discounts on your future orders. So that's only for the first 300 orders placed this month. So if you get an order in soon, you can get one of those eggs in your order, and there's going to be some fun prizes given away. You can post on social media for extra chances to win. It's just a fun little giveaway. So my affiliate link is at the top of this post, and I always appreciate orders from my affiliate link. The prices are the same for you, but I get a small percentage from Dixiebell for orders placed through my affiliate link. And then you also get the Easter eggs right now. Just want to tell you about that.
So the question was posed if we use a tripod. And Antoinette came on and said...
I do use a tripod. His name is Sean.
See, there we go.
I have one.
It gets a little more entertaining.
I have one, but he prefers to hold the camera because that way he can move around as I move around, which is nice because he can follow me. You know, I don't have to stay still, and I don't tell him, you know, what I'm going to do or anything. So Sean has to be semi on the ball. Okay, so now I'm coming back. My paint is a little bit set up. It's sticking into the crevices, and I'm just going to wipe that paint back away. And you can wipe back as much as you want or as little as you want.
Tell me you guys see that.
So it just ages that copper paint just a little bit. I'm going to let it get into the cracks over here. But that is so much more authentic looking than just the flat copper hardware.
Random, but Valerie says she's not married.
Oh. Okay.
Because your cert could have been taken multiple ways. Now you're picking it up. There we go.
And with that,
there we go.
Think of a story.
Yep. Oh gosh.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, all right.
Who wants story time tonight? Well, I do hardware. So
if anybody votes, we're shutting the camera off. I'm just letting you know.
It's a good one. It's so good.
Oh man.
Okay, so you can see the difference. It just ages if you don't pay attention to my hands. It's not perfect, and I don't want it to be because I want it to look like this is an aged piece of hardware. But you can see it just aged that a little bit from the flat copper fake painted look to a little bit of paint.
Now, paint versus wax.
I think paint is a little bit more permanent.
Story time.
I use waxes on my. So, are there a lot of votes for story time tonight? Is like story time with
No, nobody's actually saying they want story time.
Nobody wants story time. That's so weird.
No,
Usually everybody does.
It's cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nobody's watching anymore. They all went away.
They all jumped off.
So weird.
Yeah, everybody actually wants to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, it's so intriguing. So once I have these all coated with the black paint, I will take and this is just clear coat, you know, spray on clear coat, and I will just spray these with a clear coat. So my paint is protected, my spray paint is under there.
So there's your answer, Denise. As far as sealing,
and they will,
do you seal it?
Yeah, they will weather beautifully. It's really optional because once Dixiebell has a built-in top coat, so this paint actually will, you know, seal over the top of this hardware. But I will go ahead and add a clear coat. You know,
all right, I can bend the truth,
like
but
that.
I can't bend the truth to this many women, so feel free.
All right, are you sure?
Let her ride.
You know what I'm going to tell.
Go.
Okay.
I'm going to set the camera down.
I have a younger sister, you guys, and she had a boyfriend who was in the military, and he was being deployed over to Germany, where Kristana's moving to. And when he got his orders, they were not married at the time. So he deployed to Germany, and they decided that they wanted to get married, but he was overseas. And so they had just put into place where military members can get married by giving somebody a power of attorney. And we were the first people to do it in California. So what we did is my younger sister, she was, what was she, 19 at the time? Tana, I'm sorry if you're watching. So sorry for telling this story.
Oh, apologize to her, please. Yeah, it's totally fine. No big deal.
You guys, I love this hardware, by the way. It looks so good. I'm going to put it down. You can see it on this towel next to just the painted version. Yeah, it looks so authentic. So it's really pretty. Just this little bit of paint makes a huge difference. Okay, so my sister was like, I want somebody to get power of attorney for her boyfriend. And
thanks, Sheila.
And we want to get married with this power of attorney. So Sean was like, no, I'm not doing it. Nope, I'm not, no. And I was like, you know what? Sean's known my sister since they were like little kids. Because we've been friends since we were kids. So, so her boyfriend gave power of attorney to Sean.
Sheila wants to know if I have 2 wives.
He does, and they're sisters. Sean has sister wives. So
This is so not cool.
Her boyfriend gave power of attorney to Sean, and my sister and Sean went to the courthouse.
Why is this funny? I did this for you.
I know. I wanted him to. It was for me because she's my little sister, and I would rather be Sean up there with her than anybody else if she was going to do this. So,
how about the guy that she was supposed to marry?
Well, that wasn't an option.
Oh.
So you were doing a good thing. It was a good thing.
Yeah.
So
keep telling me that.
Stood up there with my sister, and they took vows.
And that's where it stopped.
All they did was call Sean by the wrong name. Otherwise, he had to say the vows, just like he was getting married.
So it was like a normal day.
I sat and watched, and my sister married my husband.
Oh gosh.
So, Sean hates that story because we laughed for years about my sister taking vows with my husband, but I was really appreciative that he did it.
And we don't laugh about it anymore.
They're not even married anymore, you guys. They're not even, the marriage didn't last, but we have a great story out of it. So that's your story time tonight. Sister wives. Sean is also married to my sister. Anyway. I told you it was a good one,
I'm
right?
besides myself.
It's a good one. He was doing a good thing. Tell him that was a good thing to do. He was doing a good thing. We were the first people to do this in the state of California. They had just put the law in place. So even the people at the county clerk's office had no idea what to do. They were on the phone with people trying to figure out how do we do this?
So many things. It could have been a first. And that's the one that we picked?
Yeah.
That's what we did? So,
I don't know. It was a good thing. He did a good thing.
Oh man, now the name came up.
What?
My middle name.
Oh. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to run out of stories eventually.
Oh, I love it. Did I stand in for the divorce too?
No, they were able to take care of that on their own, fortunately. So, yeah, no, I mean, we have pictures of it and everything. Actually, it was on my birthday too.
Oh, Sheila, you have no idea. We definitely have a portfolio of stories.
Oh, yeah. We'll keep them coming for you guys as I think of them. I actually forgot about that one because that's been, 10 years ago, probably?
You know, sometimes I'm sure there are other spouses out there that just wish your wife would somehow get Alzheimer's and forget about all this stuff.
That just wish their wife got camera time to tell all their put all their
oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big to do.
Yeah, big mistake.
Yeah.
Husbands out there, Gary, if you're on tonight, get Molly off the camera, okay? Eventually, you run out of things to talk about, and you got to start airing your dirty laundry.
Oh man.
Sean's a good sport, you guys. Please give him kudos tonight for me. If you're not, please give him kudos tonight. Okay, so I'm going to stop doing this hardware, but it looks really, really cool. I'm super excited. So where I'm going to go from here, I'll finish waxing the drawer boxes. I'll finish clear coating this all. I'm going to put this hardware on. You guys are going to get pictures of this tomorrow. If you go follow my page at Brushed by Brandy, I'll take pictures in the morning when my light is best. And then you'll have pictures by probably late afternoon.
Oh, Dana, there are no pictures.
No pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, there are pictures. Of the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are pictures. They're really old, though. I doubt I could even dig them up. I wouldn't do that to my sister, number one. I wouldn't.
You're welcome.
Because she's remarried now, so...
Let's just travel down memory lane.
Pictures floating around. But anyway. And then, you guys, when I staged this, I told you I wanted to talk a little bit about how I would stage
Oh, yeah, Gary is on. All right.
Gary,
he said it's my turn for a story. I gotta, I don't...
Sean has none. Yes, son.
Because you're not...
No, I keep my slate clean.
Yeah,
okay?
that's not fun.
Yeah, keep it clean.
You can't live life like that.
No, he does know me a little bit too well, and I'm sure he's got some stockpiled up.
But I like to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, and wake up.
Yeah, without somebody standing over you. So So when I stage this, you guys, this piece has a masculine feel. So when I stage the piece, I think about the feel of the piece. I put out an image on my page a couple weeks ago of kind of my inspiration for this, which was like an English library, like, you know, plaid and leather, and so very masculine feel. So when I stage this, I will think of that in the accessories that I pull, and I'll pull stuff that's kind of masculine from my collection. I have 3 cabinets of staging pieces. This is one of them, and it's just kind of a, it's, I
think that's pretty cool.
Big. It's from Home Goods. Yeah, this is from Home Goods. And but it's just got that masculine feel, so that's a good accessory for this piece. I like to add greenery in all my pictures, whether it's flowers or plant. This is one I also just got. This is just a bonsai tree, but I like the gold of the dish. I try to pick metals that tie in with the metal that I used on the piece. I'll tie in up top, and then I'll pull the colors out from the body and pull those into my accessories as well. So this would be great with some greenery, some black, some copper or dark metals, but, you know, fairly masculine. I wouldn't probably put, you know, pink roses on this, if you know what I mean. So take cues from your piece, not only along the way as you're creating it, but also in your staging as you're taking photos. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off. This was a great video. I'm going to put these all together for you. It usually takes me about a week to get a blog post up after I finish the last step, but I'm going to work on getting you guys photos first. And let me know, give me some feedback too on, do you guys like the start to finish process? If so, then we'll start another piece next week together. And work on it over the course of a few weeks, and you guys can see me now, so you'll actually know what I'm doing. And then I try to do something a little bit different. We've done a blended piece together. We did some patina. We did decoupage on this one. Maybe a transfer would be good. So there's different techniques in all of them. So give me some feedback on if you guys like this or you'd like to see something different. And otherwise, I'll let you go. You guys have 24 hours to share this post. Like my page at Brush by Brandy, like the Dixiebell page, and then we're going to be choosing a winner to win an 8 ounce of Dixiebell paint. And I'll tag you guys on the post too. Okay? All right? Have a good night. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Uncle John.